Hi people, the name is Mark and we're going to do a video here and we're just going to talk about a few things, and there's a lot of misunderstanding running around, okay? Now, if you're a citizen, you've lied to state that you are the person. Now, persons are citizens, citizens are persons. Persons who are citizens and citizens who are persons are not we the people. You are not considered to be a man. You are considered to be a human, a color of man, who is considered to be a monster, right? And basically who has no rights. You can't inherit anything at all because you're considered a monster, okay? So the Constitution is for we the people, okay? We the people, like for example, I am not a citizen of Canada. I stated that I am not a citizen of Canada. Their Charter of Rights and Freedoms states that every Canadian has the right to enter in, remain in, and stay in Canada. They're not talking about leaving Canada. They're talking about getting up and going on a holiday. They're talking about leaving Canada, okay? Canada's just a name on a piece of paper, okay? So when people go, I'll say, well, where do you live? And they'll go, well, I live in Canada. So you're telling me you live on this piece of paper? Is that what you're telling me? Okay, people, it's time to wake up. I'm not talking a water term here. Myself, I reside in my body. I'm not a resident. I'm not a residant. I just reside in my body, okay? So the Constitution is for we the people. If you've applied for the creation of a birth certificate, the birth of a certificate, okay, if you've applied, well, that makes you a liar. That thus turns you into an applicant, and you thus can't lie afterwards because they know you're a liar and they've framed you. You'll notice everything happens in the framework here on the ship or on their documents. Everything's been framed, and you know what they do with frames? They frame criminals, okay? Crime and all, see rhyme and all, okay? So if you've agreed to be a person, which is a citizen, okay, well, you are now on this ship. You think you're on land, but I got news for you. You're on the waterways, the seaways of commerce here, to be exact, okay? So I just want to establish that. Stop running around if you're a citizen going, well, I have rights. I have rights. You have no rights. You've agreed not to have no rights. Just look up the 10 kabajillion bylaws, statutes, acts, and who makes the bylaws? Whoever buys those laws makes them. Whoever pays for them. So that's another thing I want to address. Who does the law start with? Okay, let's keep this simple. It starts with you. And if you don't make your own laws, well, what's going to happen is somebody else is going to make them for you. And you're just going to be another slave in a cotton field picking cotton, okay? So now that we've established that, like myself, I said I'm not a Canadian. There are bylaws, rules, regulations, statutes, and acts, because they're all just acts of bullshit, acts of licentiousness, acts of the wicked. Everything's an act, okay? And I'm not a Canadian, and I told them I'm not a Canadian. Not only did I tell them I'm not a Canadian, I went to the Court of Queen's Bench here in Canada to let them know that I'm sitting on a certified Attorney General's office, straight from the Justice and Attorney General's office department, okay, that I am not a Canadian, and this has been submitted to the Court of Queen's Bench here in Edmonton, Alberta. And the file number is 100307201, and I'm going to show you this, and this has been filed right here. Hopefully you guys can see all this, okay? It says that's a true certified copy, and this is what I carry around, and it tells them that I'm not a Canadian, and it says filed in the Judicial Center of Edmonton, Clerk of the Court. So you know the court got this, and the judge got this, and the whole 9 yards. And it says here, everyone has everyone has not to be compelled to be a witness in proceedings against that person. We don't care, whatever. But the bottom line is, it says here that everything's being revoked. There's the court file number, the court stamp. It's all being revoked. This has went through the Court of Queen's Bench to tell them that I'm not a Canadian. And not only am I not a Canadian, I'm not a person on their invisible vessel / prison / ship. Okay, people? Everything happens on the ship. Friendship, slave ship, citizenship, trusteeship. Get off that ship, okay? So now we were talking about who does the law start with. Let's take this a notch higher. It actually starts with God. Take man's laws and throw those out the window, okay? I'm not a Canadian, so Canada's laws, take those and throw those out the window, okay? The reason now people might go, well, you're lawless. No, actually, I have more duty to be more mindful of what I do in life because I follow God's laws. And God's laws are simple. You go steal a candy bar at a store, you'll pay for it because your conscience will tell you otherwise. So if you think there's no creator, you're gravely mistaken, okay? So, God doesn't cut down trees to impose laws because that would be unnatural. So all this stuff here that happens on the ship is unnatural, okay? So please, people, if you're a 14th Amendment citizen, that makes you a 14th Amendment slave, and stop running around proclaiming that you have rights. No, I have grace, and that comes from God. If you want to deal in rights, rights are something that a man can give and a man can take, okay? And a prime example, I know of so many people here in Edmonton, man, where the government's going after them, they've been taking their houses, and then at the end they're going, oh, well, you know, I can't believe this happened to me and poor me. And it's like, well, what'd you expect, man? You want to support crime because to be a citizen means that it's criminal, crime and all, and you are a criminal. And in fact, they framed you. And not only did they frame you, you rocked up and said that you wanted to be the person, the criminal that's been framed in this. Okay? So now you might be going, well, what are these documents that you're holding here? Okay? Canada drew up a debt. And they said anybody that wants to participate can apply and state that they are this person and fall part under the debt. Now they're the surety to the debt. That means that whoever applies for a birth certificate, they're going to pay this debt. So what I did was I took this debt down to the Attorney General's office and I said, you guys can have this debt, and this shows that this is their debt and that they are the exchequer to excheck these checks, and that they will pay for this debt. This is not my debt, okay? God never gave me debt, okay? God never gave me debt just like God gives me free water, okay? I don't have to run it through a faucet, okay? You have to understand this, people. You can have complex, which equals untrue, or you can have the truth, which requires a few words, okay? I don't even have to talk to somebody. I mean, I could be sitting around with a room full of Mexicans or Chinese or whatever, and we can have a good meal and all sit there and rub our bellies, and we all speak the same language. We don't even have to say a word. All we got to do is smile and jam a fork in our face, okay? So that's what I want to establish here. Now, something else, all these people who are citizens and lied to state that they are persons on this ship, and that they're no longer on land. Well, you can't have lawful excuse. Lawful excuse comes from the Creator, okay? And my lawful excuse is I don't deal in bylaws, acts, rules, regulations, stacks, and acts of licentiousness. I don't deal in that. I deal in the Creator's laws. I mean, you know, no, don't get me wrong, people. I'm no angel. I've never been an angel. I've did bad shit in my life too, in my stupid younger years, just like many of you have. But it's what we choose to do with those decisions that's how we're going to progress. And a lot of people too, they're going, well, you know, if you're a person or a citizen and you've applied to be that person and a citizen, well, now you're an enemy to the state. Okay, the reason why you're an enemy to the state is because they framed you and you rocked up, you've walked up and you applied and even paid a processing fee, and they'll process you like a piece of cheese to state that you're this person and you're going to pay this debt right there. Okay, I'm sorry, but you have to have rocks in your head. Okay, so that's why I went to the, what's it say here, Justice and Attorney General's office to say, this is your debt, guys, not mine, and I am not Mark Simser. How can I be a name on a piece of paper? You want to talk to Mark Simser? Here he is, okay? I'm not to be compelled to be a witness in proceedings to talk about this person, because who cares? He's dead, right? Put that underneath. That's my understanding. I stand over these documents, right? Let them have the debt. So lawful excuse comes when you turn around and you say you're not a Canadian and the pursuit of happiness and the Constitution. Well, isn't it funny, the pursuit of happiness? If you want to be happy, you better not be a citizen slash person slash tax paying slave, because you'll never be happy paying a debt that can never be paid. Who's this debt owed to? You know what I mean? Really, ask yourself who this debt is owed to, and then you might want to talk with this person, right? So anyhow, back to the pursuit of happiness, here's the court papers. And this just lets them know, people. I even drew up a world passport just to say, that I am in the flesh and the sound mind and complete my faculties. Now hereby certify that blah, blah, blah. I'm just not a Canadian. And there's another one. And all this stuff I do, people, gets run through here. Now, how do I know? If you want out of the system, you drop a death certificate. You say, this is a death certificate for Mark Simser, upper and lowercase, list it 10 million ways. I don't care. Do what you feel from the heart. State that you're not a Canadian. State that you are not this person. All licenses, all acts of licentiousness have been returned to you. And not only have they been returned to you, they've been certified. These people deal in certificates, people. I can't emphasize this enough. So if you think you're going to get out of that system, and you're not going to use a certificate, well, they'll just eventually pick you up and throw you in jail. Now, how do I know this? Because I like to prove everything I do, okay? Everything. And it says here, this is from the Ministry of the Attorney General, Legal Services Branch. Ministry of Government Services, Ferguson Block, 77, Numbers of Divinity, Wellesley Street West, 6th floor. Oh, the number of the beast. Oh my God. Here we go in Toronto, Ontario, right? So now it's funny, Direction des Services Juridiques, right? Jurisdictional Services, Ministère des Services Gouvernementaux. And so anyhow, it says the date, and then it says to who it's from, care of, and it says, dear so-and-so, and it says, correspondence sent to the Honorable David so-and-so only regarding so-and-so on such and such date. I am a lawyer with the Ministry of Government Services. I have been asked by the off-ice, so they're not even players on the ice, they're all off-ice, of the lieutenant, okay, governor for the province of Ontario to review certain correspondence and documents that you sent to the Honorable David C. Onley. The correspondence that has been sent by you and regarding you to the Lieutenant Governor is incomprehensible and appears to have no basis in Canadian law. So this person sent back all their shit, never had it certified. You know what they said? Sorry, man, we deal in these. You want to be a monkey and you don't want to deal with these? Well, then you're just going to continue to be a tax-paying slave. Just that simple. So anyhow, and it says, here's the kicker, and I'm going to show this to you guys because, again, I like to prove what's going on. I don't like to talk horse shit here. It says, your letter contains several pieces of original identification documents and a sealed letter from the Receiver General. So they received this stuff, but you know what? They had no power to deal with it because it wasn't certified. You drive the car, you operate the court, you do everything. And even then, stay out of the courts. You want to operate, look at the words, owe and per rate, don't worry. They'll rate you and you will owe, okay? So if you think you got power, take the P out and you will be an owner of that debt, okay? So now, grace comes from God. So, anyhow, back to that. And a sealed letter from the Receiver General from the Government of Canada. Each of these documents has been forwarded for processing to the appropriate provincial or federal government office. So basically they're saying we can't do nothing. You have no legal basis in Canadian law, Canadian law, Canadien, hence Canadien, right? Neither the Lieutenant Governor nor any agent of the Government of Ontario will be taking any further action in response to the correspondence that has been sent to the Lieutenant Governor regarding this or related matters. And it says, D. Jacob Legal Counsel, count and sell. They'll sell and they'll count, don't worry. The office of the Lieutenant Governor of Ontario. Okay, so now you people have to understand here what's going on is because nothing was certified, they can't do anything with it. These people deal in certificates. You don't think they deal in certificates? Here's a certificate, here's a certificate, here's a certificate, there's a certificate. Okay, people, they deal in marriage, mar and rage. Okay, rage of the waters. They deal in marriage certificates, death certificates. man, it doesn't stop, okay, people? And that's the creation of certificates, and there we go. And this is what the court deals in, okay? You go to court and you think, oh, well, I'm going to play a game of cards, which effectively that's what you're doing. You're going to court, and whoever has the best suit, which you don't because they wear the Armanis, okay, R and man, they wear those highfalutin expensive suits. So who do you think has the best suit? Who do you think's going to win? These people have the most chips, okay? They have the most liability. They have the most ability to lie, hence reliability, the ability to rely again. So if you're walking in with a limited amount of a liability of $10 and you're getting into a poker game, well, you can't even ante up with these boys because they've got billions in liability. So you think you're going to sue these people? You ain't suing shit. Okay, this is Caesar's world. Okay, now the reason why I have things certificated to state that I'm not a Canadian, I have lawful excuse because I'm not a Canadian and I don't follow your rules, regs, and acts and stats. It's not permission, permission for me to run around and cause people harm. No, au contraire, mon frere. My responsibility has been heightened by this fact that I shall do no harm. And sometimes it's a very hard pill to swallow. I could be pulling in $100,000, $200,000 a year being an electrician, and then I have people running around judging me going, oh, well, you could be making all kinds of stupid money, and they're judging me in that. And so effectively, you're judging me, not only judge not, lest ye be judged. You want to pass judgment on me when I don't want to whore myself out for these oil fields, okay, and pollute your future children's water. And then people run around and look at Jesus Christ. The masses killed him, not Caesar. Not Pontius Pilate. Those people didn't kill him. Yeah, they may have claimed title to him afterwards, but they didn't kill him. The masses. The mass says. It was people like you who try to persecute me and then go, oh, well, you must have such a good life. No, au contraire. And then I have people going, oh, you're a freak, you're this, you're that. No, I ain't no freak. I'll tell you. You know who freaks are? And I'm not passing judgment here. This is truth. A freak is anybody who goes out and poisons somebody's water and knowingly, conscientiously does it. Okay, so people, stop with the bullshit here, okay? I'm no God, I'm no angel, I'm no perfect angle of light. I don't claim to be, but one thing I do claim to do, my conscience, man, this is my temple, and I'm working on my temple, because my kingdom, it's not of this place, man, that's for sure, because this place is nothing but sheer stupidity. Sheer stupidity. They're so stupid that they want to shit and piss in their own water, and then they want to go frack it all up and go, oh, I'm making $50 an hour. Yeah, well, you wait till your bottle of water costs you $1,000, and you're only making 50. Okay, we'll see what's shaking then, man. So anyhow, people. Now, how do I know they deal in these certificates and they recognize these certificates? I don't know. Let's take a look here at the state of Washington and the Secretary of State. Okay, that comes from the government of Colombia. Oh, the private banking district section of almost the whole wide world. There you go, people. Can't make this up. And it says, United States of America, to all to whom these presents pre-sent shall come. Okay, I told them I wasn't a Canadian. I sent all this stuff into them. It was pre-sent. It was certified, notarized. They were thus able to deal with that file. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to deal with that file. And you'd be back to a letter like this, which I don't believe I showed. And anyhow, we're just going to go like this. Okay, so there's the part there too with the several pieces of ID. They can't take any further action, right? You know, like people, please, I can't make this up. So now, back to this, okay? I may sound like I'm a little edgy and agitated with stuff, but yeah, I am agitated. I'm agitated with the ways people are always trying to suck me into such a stupid system. Oh, let's go do harm to our neighbors. Oh, let's pick up guns. Let's pay taxes so we can kill our neighbors overseas. Whoa, 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 whoa. Man, I was looking at a picture of an elephant today, and I sat there and I basically cried. I couldn't believe that somebody would do that. You know, really. It's like, anyhow, we're going to get back to this. To all to whom these presents shall come. Greetings. Hey, that's cool. I certify that the document hereunto, key words here, certify, Hereunto annexed is under the seal of the District of Columbia, and that such seal is entitled to full faith and credit. That's full faith and credence, folks. And it says in testimony whereof I, so you know these people aren't messing around. It's Hillary Rodham Clinton, okay? You know, like Buckingham Palace. You think there's some bucks in ham? Okay, people, wake up, okay? I, Hillary Rodham Clinton, Secretary of State, have hereunto caused the seal of the Department of State to be affixed, and my name subscribed by the Assistant Authentication Officer of said department. So they're not even in a compartment, they're in a department. So there's no men there. At the city of Washington, Washington. Maybe after you've been washed out, you'll move to misery, okay? Maybe you'll get tired of living in misery, you'll move to Hellas, Spain. Take the S out, pain. You people better wake up here, man. You guys have been had hook, line, and sinker here, okay? That's why it's called probate court. And so anyhow, and it says at the City of Washington and District of Columbia this 22nd day. So the District of Columbia is the private banking section. Now, what they're doing is, they're not giving me full faith and credence here, okay? They're just recognizing their own system and giving these people full faith and credence. Hillary Rodham Clinton full faith and credence. Now, that makes these people the witness that I have lawful excuse because I'm not a citizen. If you were a citizen, you were a person, you have no lawful excuse. I have lawful excuse. Okay? And right here, District of Columbia. Look at that nice good gold seal, man. There you go, guys. It's as good as gold. Good as gold. Now, you're all running around and you people are going, oh, well, we want money and we're entitled to this. People, they have no money. They're broke. You have to understand this, okay? God gave us free parking. We didn't have to pay for that stuff, you know? So now you guys can see where we're going with this. And there's probably a couple of other things I wanted to touch on. And I'm just going to make sure here. Like, basically, people, the Constitution is for we the people. It's not for citizens. Citizens have no rights. So if you're a citizen and you've agreed to be a person which is a citizen who has no rights, well then stop running around assuming that you are we the people. No, citizens are not we the people, okay? Slaves are not we the people. Slaves are persons. Persons are people who have agreed to be citizens, who have cited themselves as being citizens on the, get this, citizenship. Okay? So, now, like, once again, lawful excuse. You have no lawful excuse if you've agreed to be a person and apply for an Ontario birth certificate and a social insurance number and live in the world of sin, hence the acronym SIN, right? You know, and, you know, here's something else. Canadians are going, oh, well, you know, like we go to court and we're using American case law and you're citing that. Well, A, why are you citing somebody else's case law? My law comes from God, so why would I cite case law? God has no case law. God is the law. God doesn't need a case because we're the cases, the basket cases to be exact, okay, people? So, you know, now, then they go, oh, well, in Canada, we don't use Black's Law. No, they use the Canadian Law Dictionary, in fact. But where do you think those words are derived from as well? And if you think that Canada doesn't follow U.S. law, well, the Miranda right? You have the right to remain silent. Isn't it funny that they use, American cops use that, constables on patrol use that down in the States, and that's what they use in parade here in Canada? Right? You have the right to remain silent. See where we're going with this, people? That's the only right you have because that comes from God. Nobody can take that away from you. You people must understand this. You people want to live in a world of sin, taxation, debauchery, the whole 9 yards, and the minute you add money, you throw love out the window. You do something from the heart, it's gratuitous, man, and the God force, oh, it'll reward you 10,000 times over. Life knows good, right? Like, you know. So anyhow, and so all that stuff, oh, we don't use Black's Law here. The bottom line is, people, words are words, right? Take them for what they are, you know, and don't think you're going to go using their stuff against them. Just walk up and say, listen, I'm not even a Canadian, and if you say otherwise, when the Attorney General and Hillary Rodham Clinton's office and everybody else in the whole wide world knows what I'm doing, that's fraud on them. See how fast the buck stops there? That's fraud. You understand that, people? That is one word that people do not like and people do not want to deal with. Don't you come rocking up and telling me otherwise when the Attorney General knows what I'm doing. They are the witnesses. So people stop running around going, oh, I'm the witness. So you're a sinner because you're a witness? Really? People give up that crap, okay? Let them witness this. And if you think you're going to play on both sides of the fence and act as a citizen and then claim, oh, well, I'm not a citizen and all that stuff, you know, it's a learning experience from everybody. But let me tell you, when you're sitting on the fence, you're going to have God and Satan pulling at you. And you know what? God can't help you when you walk up and you agree to lie and become a liar and get on a ship. God never told you to go out to sea, man. Never. Right? No. We're land-loving creatures, man. In fact, where do you go when you're dead? You go to ground, because that's where they bury electricity, man. Electricity flows to ground, right? People. So, you know, and just going to look at things here for another second. So, something else. If you're a citizen, you've applied and you've agreed to be a citizen/person, that makes you a shit-citizen, okay? You're a piece of shit, okay? Sort of burst it to you, but basically, you're an enemy to the state. And the reason why you're an enemy to the state is because you're an enemy to the state of God, the grace of God, because you'll go poison our waters and everything else by fracking it up. Okay, so it's just that simple. That makes you the enemy to the state. I'm no longer an enemy to the state. Maybe the government looks at me like I'm an enemy to the state, but at least I'm not the one poisoning water. But I'm not a citizen who's agreed to be an enemy to the state. Okay, people? I haven't agreed to be an enemy to the state and get on a ship where I can't get off if I don't like what they're telling me. Okay? The only way to get off that is drop a death certificate and state that you are not a Canadian. Okay, people? Certificates. I can't embed this in your heads, man. You know? So anyhow, you know, it's just so many things here, you know. It's like, people, just stop living in fear. Maybe you live in the atmosphere. Like I say, you want to move to Missouri because you're so, you know, there's so much misery going on, you know. Then you want to move into Connecticut, connect, and I cut. Oh, don't worry, they'll take your cut because they're cons. You have to see where I'm going with this, people. It's just, you know, maybe you live on the planet. You're part of the net plan. What do you get at the end of the week? A net pay. And again, you live in the atmosphere, right? It's people. I can't make this stuff up. You've been blindsided, and everybody goes, well, what am I going to do, and where am I going to sleep, and if I give up being a slave, well, I'm sorry, but if you want to be a slave, you're going to soon find out that when Satan's side of the things are coming, they're going to take everything you own. And you should see my video about being possessed by BUY possessions, okay? They can't take nothing you ain't got. They can't take this. This is mine, man, no matter what. No matter what. I'm not going to be blinded by the light, right? I know where all creation starts, right? It starts in the darkness. It's like the mighty lotus. It starts under the water. All that is created starts from that which is not seen to come into the world of the seen, right? So even when I go, I'm not going to the light, man, because I know I'm going back to the creative source, which is the darkness, to come back into the light, right? So people, do not be blinded. Be blinded by the light, okay? Because there's many things out there, and there's lots of whores, and there's lots of prostitutes in sheep's and wolves' clothing and stuff, that they're all running around and they're going, oh, well, I want your money, and I can show you how to do your taxes this way and everything else. And I'm telling you, people, it's very, very, very bad stuff. It's, you know, some people, yes, they're old. It's too late for them. I understand that. This woman even complimented me the other day on YouTube, and I mean, wow, I was blown away. And she just basically told me that she opened her eyes to this air prison. And like, yeah, people have to realize that that's all it is. It's an air prison. Get out of it, right? All these people, they're running around and they want to make money their God. That's why the American dollar bill says, in God we trust, because people don't want to trust in God. They want to trust, T-Rust, T stands for the title, and Rust, right, in money, right? Like people, money is, look at the words M-O or on and I or whatever, right? Money, on I, right? That's why they got the all-seeing eye dollar on top of the pyramid, the whole 9 yards. Like demon, right? You have to look at these words, and that's effectively, if you're going to make money your God, well, I'm sorry, in God you will rust, okay? Now, if you make God your God, and you're not whoring yourself out, you're not contaminating people's drinking water and the whole 9 yards, you know, like I say, I'm no angel neither, people. I've did some stupid shit. But when you start waking up in that God-given force called the conscience that's been injected to you, people stop living in fear. This is a meat-coated skeleton, man. You know, somebody could kill me tomorrow. Who cares? Who cares? I'll laugh. I'm going to go, ah, ha, ha. And I'm going to be off again, and I'll be on another mission. And this time I'll be unstoppable on that mission. Right? Who's going to shoot me then? You going to shoot light? Come on. You know, people, stop being blinded by the light and stop running around claiming that you're debt slave slash person slash citizens, and then going to court and you've never made any certified claims otherwise, and then you're going to court and going, well, I'm not this person. Well, that's fraud in their world.